Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Coach Rock here from Revenge Basketball, and in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through a few changes that you can test with your shot that might be able to help you improve as a shooter and become more consistent. Now, these changes aren't only going to be physical changes to your form. I don't want to touch with that too much. I don't want to kind of change too much of your shot, but there are a few tweaks that you might be able to make that can help you. I'm also going to give you some tips that can help not necessarily your mental thinking during your shot, but some things just to note while shooting that can really help you become a better shooter. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So the first part of your shot that you want to think about is the base. Okay, all shots start from the ground up. Now, some people might use their legs more than others, but regardless, your base is very important. And I'm not talking about just the amount of force you put in your shot. The base is primary. The primary reason it's so important is because it determines if you are on balance or not. If a player doesn't jump that much on their shot, chances are they aren't using a crazy amount of legs. Now, of course, if you're a jump shooter and you're jumping up, then your legs play the power from your legs plays a huge part. But like for someone like me, I don't really jump that much on my shot. Other guys like Steph Curry, James Harden, guys that don't really jump, a lot of their shot just comes from here, and a lot of their range comes from what they do right here. The base, the legs still give you some power, but I would say the primary reason the base is important is because of your balance, right? It keeps you, when you want to be a great shooter, you want to keep your head still, your chest still, and you want to stay on balance. And if you have a very weak base and you're flabbing all around, like falling all over when you shoot, landing way over here when you shoot, you're not going to be a consistent shooter. And if you're too wide with your base, it's going to be difficult to have the balance needed to not only have the balance, but also have the power needed to be a consistent shooter. All right. So the first thing is find that good base. And the main thing I would do is just see where it feels most comfortable regular. And if you still can't find that out, one thing I would recommend doing is shooting your shot and see how your feet land. How your feet land is usually how it feels most comfortable for you. Your feet naturally land a certain way to keep your body from falling over. So that means this is most likely the most balanced you feel. So right there, I landed like this. So for me, it's probably right here. Even if I take a practice shot just like this, I guarantee I'll land somewhere like this. And that's usually where your good base is going to be. So one thing to look at is take a video of your shot. What do your feet look like when you land? What do they look like when you're getting into your shot? A lot of times, you could tweak the beginning of your shot to look like what the end of your shot looks like space-wise, the amount of space between my feet, and even the angle at which my feet are at. A lot of times that will help you drastically improve your jump shot. The next thing we'll get into is kind of this area right here. I call it the shot path, but kind of what is the angle of, so if I'm going into my shot, it's boom, right here. So within this area, from the ball's ascension, you should have some sort of C, maybe a V motion. It depends how low your release point is. Like for guys like Trae Young, you might see more of a V because his point of his path goes a little like through here, versus guys like Klay Thompson, whose shot kind of goes from here. So if I'm shooting here, you're going to see more of this than if I'm shooting here. But at the end of the day, as long as you have this, no matter if your shot path is here or here or here, it doesn't matter as long as you have this. Even if it's a little like this, the things you want to look out for is if it's like this, if it's just like this, those are things that you don't want in your shot. I would say if you take these two things that I shared with you today, do you have this around that in your shot? Again, I don't care where you're shooting from. Obviously, you could mess with this, but I think this is all about being comfortable. Now, if your shot's just like way over here, then yeah, you may want to work on that like Lonzo Ball did, because clearly it wasn't going to be effective at a high level. But if your shot's anywhere around like this area, I think you're good. I would just stick to what's comfortable. But really worry about this, right? Do you have this? If you do, then you should be good. Work on the base. And the last thing we will touch on is when you're shooting, always be aware of what's happening when you shoot. Even when you're shooting by yourself, don't just come out here and shoot. Think about, you could say, trying to swish every single shot you shoot. Hold yourself accountable. Make shots in a row without hitting the rim. When you miss, why did you miss? Did you miss left? Did you miss right? Were you short? Were you long? Always be thinking about where you missed, why you missed. In the beginning, it might be difficult, like, oh, why did I miss that? You don't want to take too much time, but over time, you'll be able to take a shot and immediately know what happened. So that way you can change your shot on the fly. But I'll know if I'm in the game and I'm consistently missing short, I'm like, dang, man, maybe I need to get a little lower before I shoot. And you can make these changes during the game while it's happening. Make these in-game adjustments that can make all the difference. All right, so if you take those 3 simple changes, apply them to your shot, I guarantee that you will start seeing massive increases in the shots that you start making. Your accuracy will go up, your confidence will go up, and your game will go up. If you enjoyed the video, do me a big favor, hit the thumbs up for me, comment below, let me know what else you need help with. Last but not least, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications so you never miss another video. Until next time, I'll see you then.